Good morning. Welcome to a short biblical reflection on the description of the Passion of the Lord as we have in the Gospel according to Luke from chapter 22, verse 14 up to chapter 23, verse 56. It is the Gospel reading for Palm Sunday, year C. This time I will point out the most relevant quotations or allusion from the Old Testament that we find in the description of the Lord's Passion in the Gospel according to Luke. The Lucan texts are from chapter 21. All those elements which are the same, identical or very similar are marked with the same color. Firstly, the encounter of Jesus with the woman of Jerusalem. Verses 28 up to 30. Jesus turned to them and said, "Daughters of Jerusalem, do not weep for me. Weep instead for yourself and for your children. For indeed, the days are coming when people will say, Blessed are the barren, and the wombs that never bore, and the breasts that never nursed. At that time, people will say to the mountains, Fall upon us, and to the hills, cover us." We find it in the book of the prophet Hosea, chapter 10, verse 8. The high place of Avon, or can be translated of wickedness, will be destroyed to the sin of Israel. Thorns and thistles will grow the altars. Then they will cry out to the mountains, Cover us, and to the hills, fall upon us. Then in verse 34 in the Lucan Gospel, then Jesus said, Father, forgive them, they know not what they do. They divided my garments by casting lots. In Psalm 22, verse 19, we read, They divide my garments among them, for my clothing they cast lots. Verses 35 up to 36 from the Gospel according to Luke. The people stood by and watched the rulers meanwhile sneer at him and said, He saved others, let him save himself if he is the chosen one, the Messiah of God. And even the soldiers jeered at him, and they approached to offer him wine. The first quotation is from the Psalm 22, verses 8 up to 9. We read, All who see mock me. They curl their lips and jeer. They shake their heads at me. He relied on the Lord. Let him deliver him. If he loves him, let him rescue him. So mocking of Jesus is from the Psalm 22, but then drinking wine, the wine that they offer to him we find in Psalm 69, verse 22, where we find the expression vinegar. Instead, they gave me poison for my food, and for my thirst they gave me vinegar. Then in the Lucan Gospel, verses 44 up to 45, and now, about noon, the darkness came over the whole land until 3 in the afternoon, because of an eclipse of the sun. Then the veil of the temple was torn down in the middle. In the book of Amos, chapter 8, verse 9, we read, On that day, oracle of the Lord God, I will make the sun set at midday, and the broad daylight cover the land with darkness. Verse 46 in the Lucan Gospel, Jesus cried out in a loud voice, Father, into your hands I commend my spirit. And when he had said this, he breathed his last. This is practically a direct quotation from Psalm 31, verse 6. Into your hands I commend my spirit. You will redeem me, Lord God of truth. And the last element to point out in verse 47, after the crucifixion, is mentioned the centurion who witnessed that it had happened, glorified, and said, This man was innocent beyond doubt. And it is practically a fulfillment what we read in Psalm 22, verse 28, that all the ends of the earth will remember and turn to the Lord. All the families of nations will bow down before him. Because the centurion is the one who represents all the ends of the earth and all the nations who are now bowing down before the Lord. So the intent was just to show how much we have those references, allusions, or direct quotations from the Old Testament. In that way, we can see how the prophecies of the Old Testament were fulfilled in the passion of the Lord. I would like to wish you a nice day and fruitful reflection on this gospel reading. God bless you.